Hello, everyone. Welcome in to 98.5 WJHI LP Jeffersonville, home of the Red Devil Network. We are here today with another edition of School Talk on June 29th, 2020. I'm Clay Abels, your host of School Talk. With us today, two leaders of education in Southern Indiana. First, we're going to open it up with our Chancellor of Ivy Tech Sellersburg, Dr. Travis Haire. How are we doing today, sir?
Great. How are you, Clay?
Doing well, doing well. And then with us is the leader of the K through 14 initiative, one of the top man in charge over at Ivy Tech for dual credit, Mr. William Krammes. How are we doing today, sir?
I'm doing great, Clay. Thanks for having me.
An awesome time to bring in some college education as the end of the high school year is over, as graduation's through, and now we're in a different time, to say the least, with all of the corona issues and things on the horizon. I'm going to start with you first, Dr. here on School Talk, as you've previously been a deputy superintendent at Greater Clark County Schools. Now you're leading over at Ivy Tech. What are some of the biggest challenges you're facing right now? I know when we spoke before the show, you were talking about enrollment and trying to get students in there. How are you moving things forward with that process, and what are some of the challenges?
Yeah, sure, Clay. And Clay, thanks for having us. It's always great to be back in William S. Johnson Arena and part of the radio program, so thanks for having us. You know, much like what our friends in K-12 experienced, we had to pivot pretty quickly and make adjustments. We took most of our classes to a virtual format, really all of our classes to a virtual format. We are just now, on July 6th, allowing a few students back. It's those students that are coming back to finish up lab classes, so a lot of our nursing, our health science students, and then like our welding programs. So we do have some students coming back to campus after July the 6th. You know, very proud of our faculty and our staff. Really, they've done a great job providing services virtually to our students. And I would just encourage, we have a lot of students in the pipeline, and I think that there are a lot of students that are not sure what the fall is going to bring, maybe in their life, maybe in their Ivy Tech world, but I would just encourage them to take a hard look at what we're offering. We're offering classes. We're offering face-to-face. We're offering a virtual class. We're offering them online. So a lot of different modalities that we're offering our students, and would just encourage them to come out and check out what we're doing.
And Mr. Krammes, same question to you. What's been some of the biggest challenges thus far? Obviously, having the wider scope of the K through 14. We'll talk a little bit here in a minute about the Kids College and some of the initiatives you've been launching. But what are some of the biggest challenges right now trying to partner with the high schools, the middle schools, the elementary schools, and trying to make sure everybody stays on page?
Yeah, I think probably the biggest difficulty is just all the differences and the uncertainty in what everybody's going to do. Right now, they're trying to figure out, how we're going to bring kids back, how we're going to bring staff back, what are we going to be able to offer, what are we not. So right now, with our 24 high school partners, there's probably 24 different plans. So trying to coordinate that with what we're doing on campus, whether we have professors that are coming out to high schools like we do here at Jeffersonville High School, at Charlestown, and at New Wash, that come out and offer classes to students. How are we going to do that? How's it going to fit in with what we're doing on campus as well? So right now, just trying to coordinate everything and figure out what's going to happen, and then how can we do the best that we can to provide the opportunities that we always do.
When you look at some of the things Ivy Tech is doing, and just mentioned a second ago, speak on the Kids College that you just launched and some of the ways that at-home learning that you're trying to provide while people are away from physical buildings. What are your plans on that, Mr. Krammes? And talk about the launch of the Kids College.
Yeah, Kids College started a couple of years ago. Patricia Wall, she's our Dean of the School of Education, and she's the one that kind of got that started. Her and Josh Kornberg, who works with our foundation, and some of the other faculty members got together and said, hey, we need to start offering things on campus for people just to get that message out to the community that, hey, it's not too early to start looking at us as an elementary school kid or someone in the middle school age. We also offer some computer science things for high school kids during the summertime. But Kids College started a couple of years ago. Last summer we had a great turnout. I know even my own grandson came all the way from South Carolina to go. He just loved it. This year, again, it's been a challenge because of all the COVID situation. So Trish and Josh and the other faculty members worked on an online virtual platform where they're doing some YouTube videos. Kids can go in and they're getting the same kind of experience through that YouTube channel that we've sent out. typically we do charge a tuition fee for students to come in for the materials, for the faculty, for all those kind of things. But actually this summer they decided that they wanted to do that for free since it was a virtual environment. And also they just wanted to keep kids interested. They knew there was a need out there. Parents that have been doing homeschooling that they have not been used to doing by any stretch of the imagination, kind of giving them something to use as a tool maybe to help to keep those kids busy, to keep them on some kind of schedule, and to keep that learning going throughout the summer.
Here on School Talk, June 29th, with Mr. William Krammes and Dr. Haire of Ivy Tech, speaking a little bit about some of the college options and also the K through 14 options coming up throughout Ivy Tech and around the area. Dr. Haire, over to you with some of the situations you heard from Mr. Krammes, speaking about the difficulties of coordinating. You have all these different school systems you're working with, trying to stay on the same page. I know for Greater Clark, we've talked with Mr. Loeffner before about how he speaks with the health department, he talks to parents, and he goes through kind of a gauntlet of before he makes his school calendar decision. At the college level, how do you come to a decision to change your school calendar? What's the process, and how do you eventually come to a decision? Is it that much different than high school? What's the game plan on that?
Yeah, Clay, it's a little bit different in that Ivy Tech is the state community college for the state of Indiana. So we have 18 campuses, and then we have a systems office in Indianapolis. President Sue Elsperman has done a great job providing leadership through this COVID. We have a chancellor's meeting every Monday. We've been having them 2 days a week. Where we talk about the different issues. And really, at a systems office level, they get a lot of our feedback. We're able to give them a lot of input, and then they're able to make a decision. We have a full public safety unit that has been able to help us as we've been able to navigate it. And then ultimately, it's up to each campus to put together their own plan with the guide rails, the guidelines that systems office provides.
One of the things I noticed, besides the kids' college that we talked about with Mr. Krammes, is you're offering some free instruction to students around the area, up to 10,000. What's the backstory on that, and how did you all come up with that plan to instruct for free to students around the area?
Well, and Clay, another great example of the community stepping forward for the state of Indiana. As we saw the enrollment numbers or the unemployment numbers rise in the state of Indiana, we knew that we had to do something. So Ivy Tech started a rapid response, and part of that rapid response is our local. We have a local campus board of trustees, and the chair of that is Paul Perkins. Paul is the chairman, president, CEO of Amitral, and Paul stepped up and he offered 10,000 free classes to Hoosiers across the state to come back and get skilled up through the SACA program, and it's just an incredible opportunity. It's part of the Industry 4.0, and it is state-of-the-art, cutting-edge training, absolutely free. You can go to our website and enroll, and it's just a wonderful opportunity, again, for Hoosiers across the state to take advantage of being able to be skilled up.
Mr. Krammes, when you look at the K through 14 initiative and some of the things you're working on, as we said, the kids' college and maybe making things more online accessible, what's some of the biggest challenges from the dual credit side? I know, obviously, if you're a student, you're looking forward to trying to push your dual credit. Once you go to the college level, get a head start. How do you adjust that once it goes to more of online classes? We talked about Ivy Tech going virtual. A lot of schools in the area are going to do that at the high school level as well. How does that change your job at all?
I think just being able to provide resources to teachers as they need them, having consistent communication with everybody, trying to find out, what it is that they need, what it is that we can do for them, making sure that our deans and program chairs are available to those teachers who need necessary resources. I know that was one of the big things when all this hit all of a sudden last spring. A lot of people weren't sure about how to teach online and even what kind of things you would do with your students. So hooking those people up with our deans and program chairs, getting them with resources that allow them to explore and help their students was one of the biggest things that we did, and continuing to do that. Still working on that e-learning portion. How do we provide students with meaningful and structured environments so that they can continue to do the good things that they're doing in their buildings?
One of the questions we had asked from parents and students when we had Mr. Loeffner in here around a month or two ago was, how does the end of this school year with Corona, things going home, being e-learning, does that affect students coming into college at all with their dual credit? Can you give an update of what's the latest on dual credit if you're coming into college next year? Has this Corona affected anything in that area, or is everything still on page for dual credits to be assessed as provided?
One of the great things is that the higher education staff at our community college and throughout the entire state of Indiana really understand that this is nothing that's the fault of the kids. It's nothing that's the fault of the teachers in the classrooms. So in order to make sure that nobody was harmed by that, then they decided, hey, we're going to continue to do this the way that we've always been doing it. We're not going to hold people to some kind of penalty because they learned in a different fashion than what they were supposed to at the beginning of the year. The only thing that we did is we made sure that, like I said, that our teachers had the resources they need, that they were covering those major course learning objectives, and anything that they couldn't get to, how can we get them there and help them provide that for their students. So great state of Indiana, everybody came together and really worked hard to make sure that no students were harmed because of things that they had no control over.
Dr. Haire, for you, and I'm going to ask the same question to Mr. Krammes, we've been speaking a lot about e-learning here on the show, and also just kind of the changes of education that we've seen of late. With Corona obviously being completely unexpected, we've seen a shift to online learning and virtual classrooms. We've been talking about it at Ivy Tech and now here at Greater Clark County Schools. You've been around education for a long time. Where do you think this phase is going to turn to? Do you think we'll see more schools offering e-learning? Do you expect maybe more classes to be taught online in the future? What do you think are some of the big changes we're going to see out of this?
Yeah, Clay, what a great question. And I do think we're going to see an increase in our virtual classes, our online classes. Having completed a PhD program about 5 years ago, we had 4 of our 10 classes, and those were online. And Clay, I know that this is one of those topics, but it's one of the reasons we implemented, I'm going to go to Greater Clark for a minute, that Health Online program, because we knew that students needed to be exposed to online. Now, certainly we had no clue there was going to be a worldwide pandemic, but certainly we knew that was the wave of the future, was that as in technology increased, students were going to have increased opportunities to learn via technology, via online, and it's just a great opportunity. We will continue to have conversations at the college level how we can partner with all of our high schools and a lot of schools that have gone virtual as well. So just really being able to adapt and embrace those changes. I do think this will be something, especially this fall. There are a lot of folks that are not sure if they want to come back to face, and this is going to be another opportunity for them.
Mr. Krammes, same question to you. How do you think the pandemic changes education going forward, even after everything eventually goes back to normal? What do you think will be changed forever once we've gone through this?
Well, as a lifetime educator, I understand the importance of the socialization aspect of public and private schools. I don't think you're going to be able to replace that through e-learning, but I do think you'll be able to replace the curricular introduction of materials and things like that. Kids learn in different modalities. We've known that forever. So whether you're an auditory learner, whether you're a visual learner, whether you're a kinesthetic tactual learner, all those things are going to be helped and aided by all different kinds of modalities. So some kids love the online. I know when I was at New Albany High School as a principal there, we started an online recovery program, and there were kids that just ate that like, the best thing that ever happened to them. So other kids really didn't like it. So it's just another toolbox that you can put into your corporation or to your school, to your teachers, just another way to reach kids. So the more ways that we can reach kids and the more ways we can reach people and provide them with education that they couldn't get before, then I think that's a great thing.
Well, Mr. Krammes, we'll start with you here. Give us a little bit. I know people know you here just from watching the show, being at Ivy Tech, but talk a little bit about your background in education, how you got started, a Red Devil, going back to your high school days. Talk about how you've come through all the way up to Ivy Tech and some of your experiences across education.
Yeah, my gray hair will kind of tell how old I am, but we were supposed to have our 40-year class reunion this summer. So I graduated here in 1980, played sports here at Jeffersonville, had a great time. My family, brothers and sisters all went through here and had some great athletic moments as well. So right now, my youngest, my nieces, Elena Lacey, just graduated this past spring. So I've been around Jeffersonville High School for lots and lots of, way too long to even imagine. But after I left here, went to college, came back, became an educator out at Floyd Central, taught there for 20-something years, became an administrator at New Albany High School, then was a principal at Highland Hills for a while. Really, the public education part of it was great. I loved it. I loved my kids. I miss them to death, my staff. But an opportunity came open at Ivy Tech that I just couldn't resist. It was a chance to go out and not only make a difference in a school or a corporation, but to make a difference in 24 different high schools. And 24 is an amazing number. So I went from being an effect of 2,000 kids, maybe to an effect of about 6,000 kids. So it was just another chance to help more people, and that's really what I've always wanted to do.
Dr. Haire, people mentioned at the top of the show your role as deputy superintendent going back a few years here at Greater Clark County Schools, but go back to when you initially got into education. What charged you to take down this path along with Mr. Krammes in public education?
Yeah, sure. Well, Clay, and I'm not nearly as old as Mr. Krammes. Let's just get that on the record. I graduated from Jeffersonville High School in '88, one of the first football teams that went undefeated, Bill, by the way.
Absolutely.
And just really, Clay, I say that because it was important. Those teachers and those coaches really had a huge impact on my life. Coach Ware was the football coach. Tony Willis in journalism. Clay, those guys, they left a mark, and it was a great opportunity it allowed me the opportunity to go to college and then to be able to come back and give something back to the community. I started back here as a teacher, actually, at Jeffersonville High School, taught at Jeffersonville High School and River Valley. And Bill, our paths have not really crossed until recently, but I was at New Albany High School as well, and then had an opportunity to come back here to be the deputy superintendent, and now at Ivy Tech. And it's a lot of what Bill said. It's just a new opportunity, and I know that every day we are impacting our students' lives at Ivy Tech, and it's just a great opportunity. The community has been incredibly generous to Ivy Tech, and they've been very supportive of me, and it's just a great opportunity for me to give back to a great community, and really all 6 of the counties we serve, all 24 high schools. It's really just a great opportunity to give back.
Dr. Haire, we'll finish it with you. What's next? What do you think is next on the horizon? We've talked about all these different situations today with e-learning, virtual classrooms, the changes that we've seen over the last couple months. What's next on your mind of taking care of at Ivy Tech and on the agenda sheet for you?
Yeah. Again, Clay, another great question. Obviously, a lot of things are going on in the world right now. We are facing a worldwide pandemic. We're also in the midst of a epidemic that has gone on for centuries. And I told our faculty and staff last week, we will all get through this. We're all going to have to rally together. And I said it's a lot like being in a neighborhood. And if you're walking down the neighborhood and you see a house on fire, you have 2 choices. You can walk away or you can run to it. And, at Ivy Tech, we're choosing to run to it. And we know that there are some issues we have to address. We have to address some of the injustices, the systemic racism. We've got to take a look at that. We're going to start a minority scholars program that I'm very proud that we'll announce here very soon. We have partnered with IUS, and we'll do that as far as transferring our students. Once they finish 2 years at Ivy Tech, they'll be able to go out and finish at IUS. And then also working with the president at the University of Louisville, Dr. Bendaputi. She has done a great job of rallying all of the local campus presidents together, and we've had meetings and really are going to work hard to provide equal opportunities for all of our students and lead by an example at the top. So I think there will be some changes coming down the pike. I think we've got to work through the COVID and then just continue to embrace each other and know that we have to be here for each other. And I think we're while it is definitely trying times, it's a great opportunity for us to leave the community better. And I'm looking forward to that.
Well, we appreciate that, Doctor. That's awesome information. We'll definitely keep the community up to date and stay focused to Ivy Tech on some of those updates. You mentioned the Minority Scholars Program and some other things that you just mentioned there. But very big news for the Greater Clark County community and communities surrounding. I want to thank Dr. Haire, you for coming in, and Mr. Krammes for your information, really your dedication to education, I should say, over the last many decades that you guys have been involved in education. I want to say thank you for coming in today and appreciate your support. Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks
Thank
for
you very
having
much.
us.
Awesome time having the Dr. Haire and Mr. Krammes in today. Another edition of School Talk in the books here on June 29th. If you want to watch the replay of this program, it'll be on TV cable 184 at 1 and 7 p.m. every day, and also be streaming on WJHI.com and also on 98.5 FM. They'll be all over the Red Devil Network every day at 1 and 7 p.m. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of School Talk. This is 98.5 WJHI LP Jeffersonville, home of the Red Devil Network.